Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! I've always wanted to encourage Kylie Control to post videos on her social media accounts, and I just recently saw one of the latest videos Kylie Control threw up 5 minutes ago. There's something about Kylie Control posting videos 5 minutes before I go live with a show on my YouTube channel. I don't know what it is about me and Kylie posting at the same time. We're posting simultaneously. Kylie just threw up her latest video, and I'm really happy she is posting stuff on social media again after having removed herself from that ridiculous relationship just last year where she'd been reduced to tears. My heart really goes out to Kylie Control because I believe she is full of life. And she's such an inspirational person that has touched the hearts of so many people. Kylie, I want to encourage you to keep posting stuff on social media. I watch for that, and I love that so much about you, how you inspire so many beautiful people. And when you're not posting stuff on social media, I really do miss it. Kind of like how I've noticed that Ruby Rose Turner doesn't post a whole lot of stuff on her social media accounts. I follow her on Facebook and X all the time, and Ruby Rose Turner has kind of just vanished. She's kind of just faded off. I guess it has something to do with how she's parted ways with the Descendants franchise and just didn't want to say a whole lot about it because I think she's feeling really emotional about it. But that goes without saying that I think I'm not the only one who is missing Ruby Rose Turner so much. Every night that I shoot these videos, my lights are pink, literally. Most of the time, anyway, because I love Ruby Rose Turner so much. And the friendship between Kylie Control and Ruby Rose Turner has really been put on display. Even with the promotion, without the promotion of the Rise of Red franchise, I think that their friendship has been put on display for the whole world to take notice of. Kind of like how Roland Blanchard and Sabrina Carpenter many years ago put on display their friendship from the days they spent on the set of Girl Meets World, which was one of my favorite TV shows of all time. I had a lot of favorite Disney TV shows. Shake It Up, Berserk, Raven's Home. So many beautiful shows that Kylie Control drew inspiration from. The character Jasmine was so full of life. The character Tony on High School Musical, the series, was so full of life. And Red just exploded onto the Descendants scene and really did a fabulous job carrying the torch after having it passed from Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson to people like Kylie Control and Malia Baker, who have done an absolutely incredible job really blowing this Descendants franchise up and really blowing it out of the proverbial water, which is why it gives me even more reason to be excited about Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland coming at us in summer of 2026. Just think about it like this. A year from now, we'll be counting down literally the hours to Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland. The hours, the minutes, and the seconds. And I'm really excited about it because I'm interested in seeing where the plot will take us. You know, if Ruby Rose Turner will return to Descendants 5, even though they say that Ruby's not going to be a part of it. Perhaps they're kayfabing it with a bit of luck that Ruby may make a cameo. And even if she doesn't be a part of Descendants 5, I would go to see Ruby in Descendants 6 with time travel finding its way back into the script and having a purpose. I think that you could write a story about how you have to go back in time and save Ruby Rose Turner from, the consequences of time travel and have her have something to do in present-day Wonderland. One can expect that it will revolve around the Kingdom Cup games, which I would love to have been the announcer for or to have partaken in. And I say this because the Kingdom Cup games look so fun. All the Kingdom Cup games, jumping over bars, doing track and field, sword fighting, it looks so fun and it's so competitive. And I think this is really going to provide us with a lot of action in the upcoming Descendants movie. Action we probably necessarily never saw from the original Descendants movies, dating all the way back to July 31st of 2015. And there really wasn't a whole lot of action in the very first Descendants because it was done to introduce us to what these characters were really all about. Dove Cameron's personality as the character Mal, very fearless. You would have thought we would have seen a lot more action in the original Descendants movie because Dove Cameron's character really didn't care what anybody thought of her. The character Mal was so fearless, so strong, so powerful, but there were limited action scenes, and we didn't get a whole lot of action until at least Descendants 2 when the conflict arose between Mal and Uma, of course, the daughters of Maleficent and Ursula, who are legendary Disney characters. And I think these villain kids, these VKs from the original Descendants, if anything, will go down in history for being Disney legends. Flashback to last year when Miley Cyrus won the award for being the youngest Disney legend in history, because she really was. And that was meant for Miley to achieve. That was an accolade written in the stars for Miley Cyrus. And if Miley Cyrus can go down in history for being one of the greatest Disney legends of all time and the youngest, then I think Dove Cameron, Sophia Carson, Cameron Boyce are legends in the making that will be honored in years to come at the D23 Expo. I'm really looking forward to see if they will honor Cameron Boyce's legacy as the character Carlos, the son of Cruella de Vil, who was a character that I used to watch when I was a child as part of the 101 Dalmatians franchise, but she wasn't one of those villains that really brought anything to life or served any purpose or significance. I think that these VK kids had personalities that the Queen of Hearts and Cruella de Vil could only have ever imagined to have had. And I think Cameron Boyce's personality lit up every room and every personality that he ever had the chance to work with. And I give him a profound amount of credit for just really standing out as one of the VK kids that really made Descendants so iconic, so powerful, and inspired so many people that every dream could become a reality. I remember the day Cameron Boyce passed away, flashing back to July 6th, 2019. I was sitting at home. I was reading it on my phone, talking to my girlfriend at the time, and I couldn't believe it. I was left at a loss for words. I really couldn't put into words how I felt about Cameron Boyce's passing, because I remember him being a fan on TV shows of Jesse and Bunked. He was beautiful on those shows, and he really brought the best of the characters like Peyton List and Debbie Ryan, portraying, of course, Jesse on the TV series Jesse. It was just such an incredible time to be a fan of Disney years ago, because you had so many inspirational characters, both male and female, who really stood out. Now, these characters are extremely rare. It's an extreme rarity that you can draw inspiration from some of these newer characters, because I have a hard time even getting into the flow of Disney now with the Villains of Valley View and The Secret of Sulphur Springs. It's not really adding up for me. So I really do miss shows like Liv and Maddie and Girl Meets World, who are part of the same generation, and Descendants, that was a part of a generation. And in a category for Ever and Always on its own, I really do believe that Descendants and Zombies will go down in history as some of the most revered and the most popular Disney franchises of all time. And it really breaks my heart how much criticism Descendants received. Everything from the standpoint of Descendants, where it stood when it premiered, to everything that happened off of camera with Descendants, with the personal relationships. I think having the personal lives of stars like Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson looked at and dragged into the conversation more times than it ever should have been was completely unprofessional. But I think that more fans, gained a greater appreciation for this when they saw everything that was happening both on camera and off of camera for these stars, because they had some of the most beautiful friendships ever created because of what was happening for Descendants. I mean, Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson probably would have never hit it off as powerful as what they did, and Lord knows that Kylie Cantrell and Malia Baker, who worked together for the first time ever on the set of Descendants, and that ended up Malia Baker making an appearance in Kylie Cantrell's See You Tonight music video, which is a beautiful music video in its own right with millions of views on YouTube. It's really cool when you can have a Descendants star like Malia Baker appearing in your music videos, and it just goes to show how far friendships can really take you. It's like a magic carpet ride. You don't know where it's going to go from one moment to the next. So I'm really excited to see where these franchises will go and what kind of stories and what kind of conflict will ascend with Descendants characters in the future, because we didn't really see much of a conflict presented between Red and Chloe. Now, the conflict, you can assume, will ascend from Red and Pink's controversy, that will ascend from Pink being Red's long-lost sister, which is one of the consequences of time travel. And I really do appreciate how, conflict kind of ascends from sibling quarrels. I've always had the occasional argument with my sister. I say this because we've never really seen eye to eye, and who out there hasn't had an occasional argument or conflict presented with their siblings? So I think this is really going to put your mind to yourself, probably a situation that you've been in. But I think it's going to present a lot of controversy, and it's going to raise a lot of ire. And I think that this could be setting up for a torch to be passed from Kylie Cantrell and Malia Baker's characters, Red and Chloe, to Liamani Segura's character, Pink, because we saw it with Zombies 4, Dawn of the Vampires, and how powerfully it was done, and how professionally it was done, mind you, between Milo Manheim and Meg Donnelly's character, Zed and Addison, saying goodbye and having passed the torch. How are Descendants going to be able to top that? Because it was so fantastically done. We knew going into Zombies 4, Dawn of the Vampires, that it was going to happen. We just didn't know how it was going to be perceived, how it was going to unfold, how the plot was going to thicken, how many twists and turns we were going to encounter for the 90-minute production. It was incredible what they did for an 87-minute long movie. It wasn't even a 90-minute production. It was technically 87 minutes. And what they did for Dawn of the Vampires was absolutely incredible. The plot was so much more significant. It was beyond detailed. And it was so entertaining for the 87-minute production that Disney Channel and Disney Plus gave us. It was unbelievable. The global premiere shot Zombies to the heights of unprecedentedness. And I remember being a part of that premiere 3.5 weeks ago and being so proud to have the honor to talk about it. And I was one of those guys on YouTube that found everything nice to say about Zombies, because I believed that if we were going to talk about Descendants and Zombies, one had to say something pretty credible about it. You had to give credibility where credibility was due. And I really do believe the stars of the Zombies franchise of the future, for this new franchise, whatever they're going to be calling it, because a lot of people have been raising concern but the title of Zombies 5, whether or not it will be called Zombies 5, I really don't know, because it's too far away to kind of, predict that. I think we could make a few predictions, but not as many as we probably think we can get away with. It makes perfect sense that they would change the title of the franchise, because there are no zombies going to be involved with it, because Nova and Victor are daywalkers and nightwalkers. And after the confliction we saw, a storyline obviously could be created and derived from what happened between the Daywalkers and the Nightwalkers, who were vampires specifically, for Dawn of the Vampires. Even if they call it Dawn of the Vampires 2, as I said here earlier on one of my video blogs I threw up today, I would go for that, because that makes for a really exciting plot. And with how popular vampire franchises have been over the years, Twilight, True Blood, Vampire Diaries, I would go for it, because they are huge inspirations behind the success of the Zombies franchise, and they mean so much to Milo Manheim and Meg Donnelly. That's why they're sitting in the director's chairs now, trying to make sense of it all for us, and trying to secure the futures of the Zombies franchise. I'm really looking forward to seeing where we go from here, and I'm really excited about it, because I have a lot of predictions of what it could have been inside of that vortex. It could have been mermaids, it could have been witches, it could have been pirates, it could have been sirens, it could have been something completely so far out there, because the supernatural world, after being a fan of it for forever, really a lifetime, consists of so many possibilities, and the possibilities are really endless, which is why, for the life of me, I don't know why so many podcast hosts are saying that there's no more reason for a zombies movie to be created. Please don't ever believe that. Hold on to your belief that we will get to Zombies 5, even if it is called Zombies 5 or called something else. We will see Nova and Victor return as part of the franchise, Malachi Burton and Freya Skye. They have every reason to return. Freya Skye is a beautiful singer, 15 years old, going to be 16 in October. I will be celebrating her birthday. Malachi Burton going to be 16. So they still have a long way to go. Meg Donnelly and Milo Manheim, 24, 25 years old respectively. Their friendship was beautifully put out there, and one of the best friendships to ever be derived from a Disney Channel production over any franchise. And I'm talking about any franchise, because there have been so many beautiful friendships spawned off of Disney classics like High School Musical. That franchise was beautiful because of Ashley Tisdale and Vanessa Hudgens' friendship. The franchise, the original Descendants franchise, was so beautiful because of the friendship between Sophia Carson and Dove Cameron. And now the Rise of Red franchise is just as equally as beautiful and impressive because of the friendship between Malia Baker and Kylie Contrell, despite all the rumors. And I kind of just wanted to alleviate the pressure of all of these rumors of the Descendants franchise, because there are a lot of rumors about the apparent friendship between Kylie Contrell and Malia Baker, and I think these rumors are just being derived from a lot of jealousy, because people see the success of Kylie Contrell and Malia Baker, and they're refraining from Googling themselves, watching videos of themselves on YouTube, and I think that's completely unnecessary, especially when you have celebrities who are so popular with the young Descendants audience, because Descendants audience is relatively very young, but even though the Descendants audience is relatively very young, I think they know a lot more than they're ever given credit for, so they notice these rumors, and I really don't want that to be out there about Kylie Contrell and Malia Baker. So what if they're actually in a romantic relationship or what have you, or they're going to hit it off by Descendants 5? There are a lot of rumors being created from that. I think it has a lot to do with jealousy and profound success that we've seen them have, because nobody ever thought, I don't think, they were going to see as much success with the Descendants franchise, sell as many dolls, as many Halloween costumes, as much merch. But they really did, and the Worlds Collide Tour showed that. Come to think of it, I really would want to get my hands on one of those hoodies or one of those t-shirts for the Worlds Collide Tour, because it was so phenomenally promoted, to the point where thousands of shirts and so much merch was sold, both publicly and online. I mean, everybody wanted their hands on one of those hoodies. They looked absolutely fantastic. And I loved it so much how Disney promoted it. Disney's really got a special way of promoting stuff and really knows how to really market themselves. And they really did that with the Worlds Collide Tour. But apart from all that, you guys really showed up at the Worlds Collide Tour in support of your favorite stars. And I mean, you showed up in unison. And you were so full of life and so full of love and support. It was truly unbelievable. I wanted to be in the crowd. Actually, I wanted to crowd surf at the Worlds Collide Tour like Kylie Contrell. That's always been a dream of mine. You girls would catch me, right, if I was crowd surfing, right? I just wouldn't fall off the stage backwards, and you would kind of just move out of the way. You catch me, right? Because you love how I create all these Descendants and Zombies videos for you, so you would catch yours truly, or at least one can only hope. The songs were so beautiful in Zombies 4, Dawn of the Vampire, so I'm expecting the songs in Descendants 5 to be just as catchy, if not as beautiful, because the Descendants songs from the Rise of Red soundtrack were so upbeat, and they were so full of life. They really had meaning. Every song from Get Your Hands Dirty to Red to Life is Sweeter When You Are, which became a poster child song, if you would, in my mind and in my heart, because that song really got stuck with me really quickly, and it became very addictive. It was a song that became very addictive to me and very, very quickly, relatively quick, because of the lyrics and just, the message of kindness that we heard in that song. Over 14 characters were a part of that music video, and Vivo got millions of views because of it. Because Aladdin, of course, the fairy godmother were in the music video. And I think a lot of characters who didn't really have a whole lot of appreciation shown to them or given to them in the Descendants franchise, either past or present, were really credited in that music video. And that really just goes to show how many characters we have yet to see in the franchise. Because you think about all the fairy tale characters who have never even been discussed being a part of the Descendants franchise, and characters now coming in from Encanto and Princess and the Frog. Disney is not only relating to, classic Disney princesses and fairy tales, they are also relating to the newer Disney princesses and fairy tales now too. So it's not just classic elements being run to a movie or a franchise. So they're trying to open up as many doors as possible for the future of the Descendants franchise. But again, I go back to how much I miss Ruby Rose Turner and how she desperately tried to spread a message of kindness, and how there's never enough kindness seen in this world, because I firmly believed that there is never enough kindness seen in this world. And all I've ever wanted to do is spread a strong message of kindness, a very powerful message of kindness, because you really don't know how far kindness can go until you really put forth that message of kindness. And that's all I've ever wanted to do by creating this podcast, is spread a message of kindness. And let everybody know that everybody deserves a second chance. Everybody deserves to be treated fairly. And I think that the explanation that Ruby Rose Turner offered us as to why the Queen of Hearts turned out the way she did was beautifully done. Because a lot of people never did that. It was just, here's the Queen of Hearts, she's so evil, she has an army of card hearts, and she's going to kill us all. And ultimately she became the most annoying Disney villain in the history of Disney villains, one of the most revered without a doubt. There was no explanation ever offered 50 years ago as to why the Queen of Hearts turned out the way she did, no explanation behind the bullying, but the flashback in time from Descendants really put into perspective not only why she was so evil, but how precious time actually is. Because I've often put it out there that time is the most precious commodity. Why is time the most precious commodity? Because time always runs out, and you never seem to have enough time. So time is very valuable, and sometimes taken for granted. Because if you had time to go back in time and fix all of your mistakes, God knows what you would do. Lord knows what I would do if I could go back in time and fix all the mistakes I've made, because I'm far from perfect. And I've been very honest, more than honest with all of you about how I'm far from perfect. I've made a lot of mistakes in my lifetime. And a lot of times I wish that I was in possession of a pocket watch just to go back in time and tell the ones that I never really did a whole lot of time that I love them so much because they were such a huge part of my life. Girlfriends, friends of mine, you name it. I would go back in time and do it. I look forward to the new characters in Descendants, especially Pink. I'm looking forward to being introduced to Liamani Segura's character for the first time ever. I posted a lot of videos on Pink just last week because she's incredibly beautiful and she is beyond talented. I think she has a long way to go with the Descendants franchise, which is why I believe there's really a significant moment brewing for Descendants fans and setting up here to have the torch pass perhaps from Red and Chloe's characters to Pink and some of her friends, because there's going to be a loyalty stamp put on this, a point of loyalty. Reach for Pink, because if there is confliction reach from Pink showing up from out of nowhere because of the consequences of time travel, she's obviously going to be very envious towards Red, and that's where the conflict is going to ascend. She's going to be like, the hell with you, Red, I'm going to be the queen of this land. I'm going to be the queen of Wonderland. So there is going to be some confliction for at least 45-minute or 90-minute production of The Rise of Red, which is expected to be released in summer of 2026. But I think the friendship and the bond between these two sisters will be beyond unbreakable, which will set up for an even bigger conflict by the time we see Descendants 6. These are franchises, in case you don't know, that are going to last for forever and really stand the test of time, and perhaps for the longest amount of time ever. Because Disney's never had this thing. They've got this thing where they can't get past 4 seasons or 3 movies. They have this thing where they have to produce a trilogy. They can never go beyond 3 movies. This is the first time ever, I believe, in Disney's history that I can recall that they've gone past 3 movies. Because they finally realized the popularity of it. They realized how many people are holding on to a dream because of Descendants and Zombies, so why let go of that dream? Why discourage that dream? I know that's something that I've never ever wanted to do. While everybody chooses to criticize it on YouTube, I've never ever wanted to do that. All I've ever wanted to do is just be a part of something so spectacular which you've allowed me to do, and I am beyond grateful to have this opportunity to talk about Descendants and Zombies and offer you my analogies about Descendants and Zombies, because these are far better reviews than you've ever been finding on YouTube. And I search up the Descendants videos on YouTube all the time, both Descendants and Zombies, and they are really not living up to their expectations. Or your expectations, I should say, because they just rank the songs, their favorite moments, and they just say goodbye. And that's probably the only video they'll ever upload about it. And I've seen hundreds of these videos from various other YouTube creators and channels promising you videos that never ever surface. But a year ago, I showed up on this YouTube channel and I made a commitment to each and every one of you. And that commitment was, no matter what was happening in my life going on around me, I would be here to produce Descendants and Zombies videos for you just as fast as you could snap your fingers. And I really have. At 8:30 a.m. this morning, I was on here recording my first video because I had a lot of stuff going on and I wanted to make sure that these videos would find their way out into the YouTube algorithm one way or another. And with your guys' help, I know they will. And with your guys' help, I know I will go down in history for being one of the greatest of all time. Maybe not a Disney legend at the D23 Expo like Miley Cyrus and the Descendant stars are destined to become. But I know I'll go down in history for having been one of the greatest of all time. And I have each and every one of you to thank for that. Because I could be a YouTube creator just uploading videos of a specific niche that nobody would ever love. Nobody would ever listen to the person's voice behind the microphone. But you guys really gave me a second chance, and that's why I say Descendants and Zombies have represented second chances for what feels like forever for many of us. I honestly don't know where I'd be without each and every one of you, and I just want to say thank you so much for all the love and support you've shown this YouTube channel, because I honestly don't know if I'd be able to do this without each and every one of you. I'd be just a guy with no subscribers and no views, because I honestly can remember a time when this channel had probably 5 subscribers, and the 5 subscribers became 500, and the 500 became 1,000, and so on. You get the point. Thank you so much from my heart to yours for having been such a valuable part of my life. I know this is an experience that I will never ever forget, and I honestly don't know where I'd be without each and every one of you. I'd probably just be playing video games online or just playing video games alone with no girlfriend, no relationship, what have you, because a lot of people could never make sense of why I fell in love with this niche as quickly as what I did. I think it had a lot to do with the color scheme and the plot and the music. There was just so much that made me fall in love with it and made me want to devote my life, make that decision to devote my life to talking about Descendants and Zombies, because it means so much to me. It really does. So tonight I will return with one final video for you guys, and I hope you will join me for it, because I have a lot to say where Descendants and Zombies goes. I love the characters Victor and Nova, and I think their futures with the Descendants franchise look ever so promising and ever so satisfying. It's just, I miss characters like Ruby Rose Turner all the time, because when I first heard about Ruby being a part of the Descendants franchise, my heart exploded with excitement. And I was counting the days, literally, to seeing Ruby's greatest honor bestowed upon her being a part of the Descendants franchise, being the character Bridget, maybe only to offer us explanation, but to give us hope. And that's what she did. She gave us a whole lot of hope. And I've been forever proud to say that I'm a fan of Ruby Rose Turner. It's just a shame she doesn't post a whole lot on social media. I think one of the last things she posted was some story about Descendants, having something to do with Descendants, and that was forever ago. I want to encourage everybody to post your thoughts on Descendants and Zombies on social forums, to let everybody know how you feel about Descendants and Zombies, because we only have one life to live. And if you have one life to live, you've got to make every single moment count. And if you're a Descendants fan, you got to let everybody know that you're a Descendants fan. I know there are so many proud Descendants and Zombies fans out there that will let their voices be heard, that showed up at the Worlds Collide Tour, and they were so proud to have been a part of something so spectacular, so special. And I want you all to know that it's been an honor of mine to have become the voice of Descendants and Zombies, which was certainly unexpected. This was beyond anything that I ever expected to happen, because I never ever thought nobody was going to watch my videos, was going to hear my voice, was going to hit that subscribe button. Which, by the way, if you haven't done, I would love for you to hit the subscribe button and be a part of this, because this is an incredible journey that you girls have me on, and I don't know where I'd be without each and every one of you. I honestly don't. I wouldn't have as many subscribers, or over 50,000 views almost, accumulated on this YouTube channel. I know that. And I will go above and beyond the requirements of a YouTube creator to make sure that the content that you love and that you appreciate it for what feels like forever is here for each and every one of you, because you deserve to have good videos with great value and a sentimental and emotional experience for each and every one of you, which you've deserved for far long enough. When people criticize Descendants and Zombies, I really don't see the point of it. I haven't got time for it, because I love people like Kylie Cantrell and Malia Baker so much. Their friendship being put on display, I can't get enough of it. And I honestly can't get enough of each and every one of you for how much you love Descendants and Zombies. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of something so special and be on this incredible journey that you've had me on for what feels like forever. Life is truly kinder when all of us are. We just have to make more of a consistent effort to show that message of kindness and be more powerful about doing it. And I think Descendants and Zombies has done this in such a profound way. And this has been an experience and a time in my life that I will never ever forget. So I just want to say from my heart to yours, thank you so much, because I honestly don't know where I would be without each and every one of you. I've often always said there is never enough kindness seen in this world or spread. So this is the perfect time and the perfect chance, perhaps the only chance we have, to spread that message of kindness. So be kind to one another. With that having been said, bye YouTube. We will talk again in a few hours from now. Be kind to one another, because you never know how far kindness can go until you spread your own message of kindness in such a unique way. Descendants and Zombies has had a profound impact on my heart forever and always, and I will never forget the time that we shared together being fans of Descendants and Zombies. With that having been said, we will talk again in just a few hours from now later on this evening. Be kind to one another.